we can get back out to St Lucia right now. Talk to one of my favourite Sky Sports colleagues, Nasser Hussain, former England captain. How are you, Nas? That was a great game.
I'm good. Always better speaking to you.
Oh, me too, mate. Me too. You've made my evening. You know that. That was a really good game to watch, and you know you kind of felt like it was on a knife edge all the way through. But will England look back at it and think maybe that was one that got away? They got themselves in some good positions.
Yeah, they did. They fought back, actually. I mean, South Africa won it, as Josh Buttler was saying there, and Quinton de Kock, who was player of the match. I think they won it in the power play. It was the best time to bat on a slightly drier pitch. We've been playing night cricket here, starting at 8:30 in St Lucia, and it's just skidded on beautifully under lights. But first day game starting at 10:30 and the sun beating down on it means that it's a little bit drier, and the power play was vital, and Quinton de Kock was quite brilliant in that power play. They took 21 off Jofra Archer's first over, which meant they were ahead before it started to become slightly more difficult to bat on. So England fought hard, they fielded brilliantly, but South Africa just held their nerve. They've won 2 or 3 close games in this tournament now. They are unbeaten, playing good cricket.
So you reckon that score of 163, I mean, I thought at halfway, because St Lucia's been playing so well, that England would get there. But do you think that was a better score than it looked because of the nature of this pitch?
Yeah, it wasn't a poor pitch at all. I think it was a good cricket pitch. You want T20 scores to be between 160 and 180, 200. And, you know, that's what they've been here on this St Lucia pitch. I think Aidan Markram said he would have liked maybe to get up to about 180. So they may have felt they were slightly below par, but South Africa, whereas the West Indies in the last game, England had 1 or 2 bowlers they could attack. In this South African bowling lineup, they all have a really good role to play. They're all highly disciplined. Bartman got it wrong in 1 over. He bowled full tosses. I think he bowled 5 out of 6 deliveries, but Maharaj was quite beautiful with his left arm spin. He's having a really good tournament. He bowled it slowly at times. England tried to target the short-term boundary. They were hitting with the breeze. Buttler tried to do that and ended up holding out in the deep. South Africa's fielding was superb, took some really good catches, and the catch from Markram over his shoulder, as we're seeing now, was a fabulous, probably game-changing catch, because Brook in particular was batting beautifully. He's a real talent. That Livingston-Brook partnership brought England back in the game.
Yeah, we saw some brilliant fielding, didn't we, from both sides today? Some fabulous catches and run-outs. You mentioned Harry Brook there. Is that, in terms of the batting, you know, the big plus for England? It's his first World Cup 50.
Yeah, I mean, he got runs in a previous game in Antigua. He got 40-odd off 20 deliveries. It's a real talent, isn't he, Harry Brook? He's won not just for the future, he's won for the here and now. And he came in a difficult time, but he didn't look, whereas other batters in those middle overs or latter overs struggled. Harry Brook really didn't struggle at all. He's elegant, offside, leg side, and in the end, it was a slightly slower delivery from Nortje that did for him. And at that stage then, obviously with Curran having to take most of the strike, with Jofra coming in, it just proved too hard for England. Nortje got that last over spot on.
How about England's bowling? Is that a real plus point at the moment? They bowled really well, didn't they, in that Pakistan series before they went out to the World Cup, and it seems as though they've continued that form in the last couple of games.
Yeah, I think they've gone for the right combination here, bringing Topley in. He didn't start in the tournament. You know, the 2 trump cards, I know that 1 over went for 21 from Archer, but Archer and Adil Rashid are just unbelievable. Rashid is having such a good tournament. He's the #1 ranked bowler in this format now. He doesn't always get 4 for or 5 for, but he very rarely goes round the park, and he gets key wickets. So he's a huge asset to any captain. You can bowl in any phase. And Jofra has been special. The over he bowled against the West Indies, the 16th over, was brilliant. He is someone that does nail his Yorkers. And he was backed up in the field. There was a catch from Curran and there was a catch from Harry Brook to dismiss Miller. There were just fabulous catches. So England lose, but, you know, it's not doom and gloom. They've got some points in Super 8. They play USA on Sunday in Barbados. If they can win that, they'll go through, you'd think, to semi-final stage.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that, actually. Is the fact that they beat the West Indies so convincingly and got their net run rate up going to be really crucial? Do you think it's just a question of getting over the line against the US?
You don't know. I mean, USA are a very good side, by the way. They only lost by 17, 18 runs to South Africa. So you turn up to Barbados and play them with the same, force that you play Australia or South Africa or anyone. It's a must-win game for England. So there's pressure on England now with it being a must-win game. And who knows, 3 sides could end up on 4 points. So it could come to net run rate. First thing you do, you give USA the respect they deserve. Then you try and win the game. Then you may think about your net run rate. So, it does leave England a little bit vulnerable. But you feel, looking at them playing now in the last couple of weeks of this tournament, that they are playing good cricket. And if they take that good cricket to Barbados, they should be okay, but the USA will want to cause yet another upset in this tournament.
And just before I let you go, Nas, I want to ask you about the pitches because, they've moved now to Caribbean, St. Lucia, Barbados, Antigua, generally all playing pretty well. Barbados is a little bit slow, isn't it? But do you feel like the tournament now is going to be very different from now to the end than it was before? We had all those low scores, a lot of them in New York.
Yeah, listen, I don't mind lower scoring games. I've quite enjoyed some of the cricket in New York. It's produced intriguing cricket. 6s and 4s have got to be an event. Sometimes in the recent IPL, every ball was a 6 or a 4, and it becomes less of an event. And bowlers aren't just, bowling machines that you put up at one end and say, please hit me out the ground. So it probably went too far in favour of the bowlers in New York, but there's been a variety of pitches, venues. Guyana, where one semi-final's been played, will probably turn. Trinidad may go through and seam a little bit. Barbados, as you say, is a little bit slow. This one is usually a belter, as is Antigua. To win a World Cup, you've got to try and show that you can play in all conditions against all different teams. So whoever goes on to win this World Cup will have proven that. The finals in Barbados, there, 170 will be a good score. So adapt to conditions, pick well, and play the conditions well. That's going to be the key.